welcome to Connect Mobile, which is the pitch competition that brings together leading members of the media with startups offering innovative applications and technologies for mobile devices. My name is Jim Glade, and I'm a partner at Publicize, which is a PR firm for growth. I'm also joined today by my colleague, Salome Muriel, who helped organize all of this event on the backside. So thank you, Salome, for being with us as well. We're really pleased to be joined today by a host of leading journalists who report in the fields of startups, technology, business, and much more. And we're equally privileged to host some very exciting startups offering innovative mobile applications and solutions as they pitch their ventures in front of these distinguished media judges. We'll also be holding a live Q&A session with the media judges at the end of this event. So startups and also members of the audience who would like to speak and ask specific questions of the journalists will have a time to do so. Members in the audience, you can go ahead and write in your questions and I'll be sure to get them answered. Also, before we begin, I just wanted to mention if any startups have any questions regarding PR, feel free to reach out to me at jim@publicize.co. We have quite a bit to get through today, so without any further ado, I'll go ahead and introduce our media judges. Judges, when I call out your name and your bio, if you could just come on screen and say hi so we could put a face to the bio. First off, we'll start with Rebecca Bellin, who is a reporter for TechCrunch, one of the leading global technology news publications. She covers transportation technology, including ride-sharing apps like Uber and Lyft. Rebecca has a long career as a reporter, previously working for publications including The Atlantic, Forbes, and CityLab, which is a publication that reports on the intersection of public policy, urban studies, and city living, which was previously owned by Atlantic Media and now owned by Bloomberg. We're really happy to have Rebecca here with us.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Our next guest, I think it's pretty safe to say, has one of the funnest day jobs in the world. Todd Martens, he is the interactive entertainment writer for the Los Angeles Times. He covers everything from video games to virtual reality to Hollywood and theme parks. Before joining the newspaper of record in California in the West, Todd also worked as a staff reporter for Billboard magazine. He's contributed essays to numerous books, including Nirvana and Illustrated History, South by Southwest Scrapbook, People and Things That Went Before, and The Big Lebowski, an illustrated annotated history of the greatest cult film of all time. And for comedy fans listening, he was also featured on a featured monologue performer for the Upright Citizens Brigade. So Todd, always a pleasure to have you with us. Thanks for being back.
Good to be back. Thanks for having me.
Really good to have you. Next up, we have, let's see here, sorry. Alexander Garcia, who's a tech writer and contributor to publications like Entrepreneur en Español, the Spanish language version of one of the leading business publications. He also regularly writes for Soy Emprendedor, a Spanish language publication focused on entrepreneurship in Latin America, as well as Pulso, which is Colombia's largest digital media publication owned by Grupo Santo Domingo. He's also an account executive at Publicize, which is a communications firm for startups. So we're really happy to have you, Alex.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm really pleased to be here today.
And it's good to have you. Next up, and I'm not sure if she's joining, but she will be joining shortly. If not, we have Amrita Khalid, who is a former technology reporter for Inc. magazine, one of the world's leading business publications. She's covered some of the world's biggest technology companies, including Facebook and Apple, and reported on how the Epic Games v. Apple lawsuit could benefit small mobile app developers. Before joining Inc., Amrita was a reporter for Quartz magazine, which was once owned by Atlantic Media, and also for the Daily Dot. Her work has also appeared in publications like Engadget and National Journal. So we're really happy to have her join us when she comes.
Hey there, glad to be here.
Hey, Amrita, it's good to see you.
Sorry for the delay. I had a bit of a tech issue, but I'm here.
Awesome. We're really glad to have you. So thanks for joining.
Thanks.
And last but not least, we have Karen Veliz, who is a regular contributor to Forbes Central America, the Spanish language version of the popular business magazine that focuses on the Korean, Caribbean, and Central American business issues. She's also a regular contributor to Social Geek, which is one of the leading technology blogs in Latin America, among other publications. And she is a communications associate at Publicize as well. So Karen, it's really great to have you on with us.
Hi, everyone. Very glad to be here.
Thank you. And I love your hair.
Thank you.
We're really pleased to have everybody with us today. And thanks to the journalists for taking time out of their day to be part of this competition. It really does mean a lot. We'll go ahead and start with the pitch competition. Founders, I'm going to bring you up on stage and pass you the presenter role. You'll be able to share your screens. You'll be pitching for 2 minutes and I will be timing. So please keep them short and concise. We'll start off with Sierra West, who's the founder of Scenic. Sierra, give me 1 second and I'll pass you the presenter role.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Nice to be here today.
All right, it's a pleasure. I think if you want to give it a test run too, Sierra, I know you're the first person and we had some tech issues before. So if you want to give it a test run to see if you're able to share your screen, we got time for that.
Okay, great. I am sharing the deck now.
Awesome. Yeah, and we can see it. We're not in the presenter mode, but we can see the slide.
Let's see here. Is that in presenter mode now?
Yeah. Yep. Looks good. And we can hear you loud and clear too. So, whenever you're ready, we can start.
Okay. I was just going to see if I could. Sorry, that's my puppy in the background.
No,
She's
no worries.
not used to me being on calls for so long.
No.
Sorry, just 1 second.
Pets are welcome, by the way.
That's-
If anybody wants to present with the pet in their lap, we take
Yeah.
that.
She would be more than happy to be on this call. So I usually have her right here. Okay, that's all right. I'll just go ahead and get started as is. But anyway, hey, lovely to meet everybody. Thank you so much for having me. This is actually my first pitch for Connect. So I'm super happy to be here. I'm Sierra West. I'm the founder and what I am calling the Chief Connecting Officer of Connect app. And it's ironic to be here at Connect Mobile today, because that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about is connecting you mobilely. So rapid fire, I need everybody to ask themselves, do you plan to ever travel, find a new job, work remote, meet a new person, learn something new, learn a new perspective, find a new hobby, right? If the answer is yes to any of these, I firmly believe Connect is here to help you. And number one question, are you willing to do any of this on an application, right? Where you can connect anytime, anywhere, safely is key in your way and non-romantically. We aim to be one of the first in our category, non-romantic applications. So Connect is an inclusive, safe, community-based lifestyle platform designed to empower and simplify the human connection process for whoever you are, wherever you are, and whatever you like. And again, emphasizing that non-romantic component. Our core foundational operating principles are community, conscientiousness, communication, and a little bit of celebration, because we all need that in our lives. So really the core of what I'm getting to here is Connect is trying to be a new age organization where inclusivity and community are not just talked about, but are number one critical indicators of success. We're aiming to rehumanize technology. We are not building another platform that's trying to keep you on it for longer. Our number one goal is to get you off of it so you can enhance your real life and not replace it with digital elements. We want to get you to the right person, have those rich, authentic human experiences that bring you back down. So anyway, let's connect. We cannot wait for you to join the community. Here's details to reach out to me, and I'm happy to give my personal email to anybody as well. Thank you so much for your time.
Awesome, Sierra. Thank you so much. And thanks for going first. It's never easy.
Yeah, no
but you did a
problem
great
at
job.
all. Yeah,
No, for
it's been a
sure.
while since I've used Zoom, so I just wanted to make sure I was doing it right.
No, everything went well. So I will go ahead and we'll open it up. I'm curious personally about the business model and kind of learning a little bit more about that, but we'll go ahead and we'll open up for questions from the reporters. If anybody wants to just shout out with a question for Sierra, please go ahead.
I have a question. You know that like this app kind of reminds me of other apps that are like language focused, like you want to connect with people that speak another language that you speak. So I was wondering if this is something that also like offers, since you know it's like you mentioned like for traveling, can you connect with people that speak, you know, multiple languages or other languages? And also I wanted to know if you have like metrics to use, like, you know, age restrictions or things like that.
Yep. And sorry, I just want to make sure I get your first question. So the question is it helping connect with people from different languages or? Okay, yeah, so absolutely. It is an MVP, so we currently are English only in the application, but the idea is that it will be available in every market we're able to launch, and there's, you know, some stipulations with GDPR that we're working through and whatnot in Europe. But the idea is we want to connect cultures. We want to connect people from while you're traveling, right? A lot of our millennials are saying, hey, I want to travel. I want to get out there. I want to be everywhere, and I want to do that alone. A lot of people want to solo travel, but they don't want to be alone. They don't want that feeling of loneliness, right? So they're looking to connect with people on the go. Like, hey, I'm in Rome. I want to, you know, go eat my favorite restaurants, so on and so forth. But it'd be fun to go tour the Colosseum with somebody, or it'd be fun to go out to a winery with somebody, or hiking, right? So that travel or that connecting when and where you need it is a really important part for our audience.
Awesome,
And then,
thanks.
second question was around metrics. So, and then metrics specifically for which category, or was it just
Basically, like if you didn't have like kind of requirements to use it, like age-wise or things like that.
Yes, so it is 18 plus for now. You know, we definitely talked about how to create safe social, not media, but social platforms for a younger audience, but we're not there yet. That's a down the road thing. So it is 18 plus for now. And then there's no other requirements, because there is an app I can definitely say we're similar to, which is Raya. But that's a very exclusive app. There's a waiting list of years, and you have to have some sort of quote unquote status or accolade or accreditation to be part of this app. So we are all about inclusivity, and you don't have, you know, you can be whoever you are and come however you like, with a couple of stipulations, like, right, we won't allow profanity and anything that's against our community standards.
I understand. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I have a question. I have a few questions actually. So the way that I'm kind of envisioning this is it's like Hinge for Friends with Meetup combined. I don't know if that's correct. So I'm kind of, yeah, just wondering like, what's the user experience like? Is it based, do people post events and then get together based on those? Or do you find people based on similar interests? Is it a swipe situation? Like what's the typical experience like?
Great question. So you hit the nail on the head. First and foremost, it is a mashup of like a Hinge functionality without the dating component mashed with a meetup. It is an MVP, so it looks more on the Hinge side of things, because we had to think about you know, P0, right? What are those priority scenarios we need to accomplish, and how to keep that so simple that people will enjoy using it. Arguably, dating apps got popular because of the swipe mechanism and technology, right? That simplicity of finding the type of people you want quickly at the swipe of your thumb. So it's starting out a little like Hinge. It's phase 2 is heading towards that meetup look and feel, with a couple different features and functionality that will differentiate it. And then P3, version 3 is going to start to you're going to really get that community feel. So we're talking about all these great ideas to add community metrics, like just asking verification, like, hey, did you meet this person that you connected with? Are they who they say they are, right? A little bit of that community validation, just like you do if you're having a human to human experience. Rebecca, if you had worked with Karen, right, I'd be like, oh, is Karen someone I should connect with? Is, it says she works for Forbes. Is that where she still is, right? It's not ranking. It's not any sort of a judgmental, superficial thing. It's all about community, camaraderie, and working together to establish, like, right, who's in the community and what it's about. And then I could go on about feature sets. We've got pages and pages of things that we want to continue to establish that differentiates us from what's on the market. So I'm happy to go into that in any more detail if anyone is curious.
I'm also curious about the business. I would like to hear about that as well. I don't know how much time we have for each, but
Yeah, me neither.
We're good. We're good. Please
Good
go
for
ahead and ask, Rebecca. Yeah.
yeah, curious about more use cases, I guess, like what an experience would be like. Like, let's say I like to travel, like what does that look like? How do I interact with the app? And the business model as well. How do you monetize?
Yep, got you. Yes, I had a great example for you, Rebecca. It's a little more specific, but I when I was listening to your background. So I was just in Hawaii on Big Island for a vacation and a work opportunity. And I learned that Big Island is one of the safest places, I guess, to rideshare carpool, especially Hawaii, right? It's hard to get vehicles there, and renting is quite expensive. So I was staying at a hostel, and I met several people who were all like, hey, do you have a car? Do you want to go to the Volcano National Park together, et cetera, et cetera. So we have these interest tags, and that's the simplification I talked about. So my profile has interest tags that says, I like concerts, I like music, I like wine tasting, so on and so forth, right? And I select all these interest tags to complete my profile, in addition to an opportunity for a visual representation of who I am, pictures and so on and so forth. But it doesn't have to be pictures of yourself, because we're all about like self-expression. It can be, hey, here's a cool painting I just did last week. And also written prompts. So it's not just visual, but it's written for the more written brain. So there's prompts that say such things as, I'm looking to do this upcoming weekend. So that's how the interest tags work. Going back to my Hawaii example of the travel, I was going to select the interest tag rideshare or car share. And so my location is established on Big Island, Hawaii, and I already put in advance, I can do this in advance of even my trip, not just when I'm there, so I can plan ahead. And I select rideshare, and then it matches me with anyone else in Big Island that also wants to rideshare. And I go through those profiles, and I say, okay, I'm going to start connecting with that person, chat with them, establish, like, we have all these ground rules of, like, before you ride one of those like shared scooters, right? It says, here's the safety measures. We have 1, 2, 3 step, like, hey, connect with this person on video chat or in a public space before agreeing to meet up and do things. We're trying to really emphasize the safety and the community element of our application. So I thought that was a good transport example for you, but let me know if that helps.
Yeah, that's an interesting, there's just a quick follow-up on that before we touch, probably asking too many questions, but right. I assume you do some kind of other verification, like ID verification or something to.
Yes. Yeah. So ID verification is the only thing in the MVP that we have. There will be additional in phase 2 and 3, but we're still in that MVP phase where we need to show and put something out there. And get the beta, to a point where we feel, okay, we've gone through these different scenarios and prioritizing what version 2 and 3 will have. But yes, that's the idea, is that we will be verifying age, as well as what I am calling, and I'm open to better names, but community verification, where there's more of that, like, interactivity between the people who are in the platform, keeping it safe. If anyone's in those neighborhood watch type communities, Nextdoor, Facebook, et cetera, there's more of that community camaraderie. So I'm not trying to be a competitor to them. I'm trying to take best practices from all the apps out there that are doing positive elements. Sorry, she is way worse than normal. I'm so sorry.
All good, all good.
I have a
I-
question. I don't know if we have any
Yeah,
time.
please go ahead, Alex. Go
Yeah.
ahead. We have one quick
Okay.
question. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, Sarah, thank you so much for your pitch. I mean, you put a lot of energy, and that's really valuable. I mean, you present your idea really well, and you have solved some of my questions with some of the answers you said before. But I have like a question for you, and it's like, what's your differential from other applications that also want to create a community and are not only limited to the romantic side, like going to a date or something like that? You know, like Bumble has this option to put like, what are you looking for? Like, are you looking for a date, or are you looking for meet people with your same interests? Like, what's your differential from this kind of applications?
Yep. I found that this conversation goes absolutely best when I have a specific competitor to talk to, because there's different scenarios for each, but you hit the nail on the head. Bumble BFF, right? Great application, phenomenal. I love it. I think Rebecca hit the nail on the head with the mashup between Bumble BFF and Meetup. So it's going to be a little more event and activity oriented, and different from Meetup. It's not just about big group events. So perfect example, right? I'll keep walking you through scenarios. I'm a female entrepreneur in Seattle region, right? I was super excited, had my idea, right? Wanted to go meet with fellow entrepreneurs, joined an 800-person meetup group in the Seattle area, only to find out that the group died in 2018 because the admins died. As soon as the admin is no longer managing the group, an 800-person group that arguably took 8 years or 10 years to develop is no longer, right? So I tried to post in the group. I tried to find other people's profiles, right? But there's no way of connecting with them on Meetup. So the idea is that it's going to be a little more not just large group oriented, but small micro activities and events. So if I'm a female entrepreneur, I'm going to post something on Connect like, hey, I'm going to be at Starbucks looking for some fellow female entrepreneurs in the area that want to meet up right down the road, Starbucks, Lower Queen Anne, Seattle, right? And then people can like send me requests to attend my micro meetup, right? And I can approve them before, again, meeting up with somebody I've never met before in person. So that's a differentiator. And then let's talk about the big elephant in the room, which is Bumble. Every bit of our research is telling us that Bumble's branding is off. So Bumble is mostly associated with dating. And a lot of people don't want Bumble on their phones, even if they're not interested in dating, because if they're in a relationship, right, they think it's like, hey, I'd be concerned if I saw Bumble on my spouses or whoever's application. And then the other element of Bumble is Bumble BFF. So I spoke with a girlfriend who met up with a friend on Bumble BFF, and I asked her how it went, and she said it was okay, right? And I was like, why? Like she sounded cool. You told me everything about her. She's like, well, I don't see us being best friends, or I don't see us like hanging out all the time. And I said, is that an issue? Because in this day and age, right, we are so open to meeting new people, meeting on apps, meeting on the go, meeting people from all around the world, right? We're a mobile generation, and Connect is all about connection. So if I go and I compliment somebody's cool hair, or Karen's hair, right? Sorry, Karen, to put you on the spot, but so Karen's cool hair, or someone's cool shoes, or whatever, their great smile, whatever it might be at a coffee shop, right? That's a daily connection that matters. Like if you're lucky, you get a best friend once in your life, right? And you cherish that best friendship. But when you wake up every morning, you get to decide whether you want to be happy or not. And science is showing us that connections are a fundamental human need that make us happy. And so if you focus on daily happiness and those daily connections that can enhance your life, statistically speaking, right, by research, right, we will be a happier generation. And over the last decade, we've gotten so on our phones, so on the dating apps, so superficial, so much about content and media generation that authenticity and realness is really being craved right now. So I think Bumble is wonderful. I'd love to work with Bumble. I admire their CEO, but I do think Connect is this opportunity to come in from more of a connection general connection, right? Micro connection, daily connections, community, a camaraderie perspective. And I could go on about that as well, but from a technology perspective, consider us to be sort of a mash between Nextdoor.com, Bumble BFF, and Meetup.com.
Awesome, Sierra. Well, thank you so much. And, you know, I can hear the passion in the project as
Yeah.
well. So congratulations on everything you've done. Alex,
Thank
thanks for a
you.
good question too. Just to be conscious of time, we're going to hop to our next presenter. I have Gary with news. Gary, give me 1 second and I will pass you the presenter role. All righty, Gary, you should be able to share your screen if you'd like, sir. Awesome. I can see your screen, Gary. I can't hear you just in case.
Oops, okay, how about now?
There, I can hear you
Perfect.
now.
Cool,
All right.
awesome.
Whenever you're ready.
Thanks. So I'm Gary Paxinas, I'm the CTO of News.ai, as well as NT Connect, which is the parent organization. So I'll just dig right into the details. A fundamental problem in today's society is the inability to communicate differing or opposing viewpoints. Those with viewpoints other than one's own are derided and often called biased in one form or another. In many cases, emotions are inflamed to an extent that it eliminates the possibility of discussion. Ultimately, differing viewpoints are often mislabeled simply as fake news or mis or disinformation. This is often promoted by modern news and media outlets with the ostensible goal of driving viewership. But this also has the effect of further dividing members of society into their own echo chambers and further limiting discussion. Instead of attempting to show left or right bias, which itself is subjective, as we all have our own biases and filters at how we perceive the world, what one person considers a centralistic viewpoint is not even close to what another considers as centered. In addition, fact-checking is simply problematic in an automatic fashion. There are many ways to manipulate facts to fit a narrative. Therefore, our first step in the solution is to offer tools to allow users to understand how language itself is being used to manipulate. We present several metrics to show the reader how the text is written, the progression from sentence to sentence of how the emotions, objectivity, and various propaganda techniques are used in the article. We also track revisions to articles, including what we call ghost edits, where the publisher hasn't indicated an article has been updated. We are continuing to work on adding both new metrics as well as refining our combined news score. Our business model for the current release is ad-supported. We are in the process of adding a user and a community system that will be monetized with enhanced features. And we are also planning additional uses of our analysis backend, not only as a tool for users and researchers to analyze existing text of any kind, but also to assist authors in creating new content, as well as analyzing communication between customers and business. And that's it.
Awesome, Gary. Really interesting. And I'm curious to hear some questions from the media panel as well about this one, as it obviously affects their business. Maybe I'm not sure, Amitra, Todd, anybody want to start off with a question for Gary?
I have a question.
Sure.
Yeah, so I noticed that this is more focused on text, like articles and all of that, but I feel like nowadays videos are more, people are more interested in just watching a video of 1 minute instead of reading something. So are you guys planning on also using your business model on videos?
Yes, the first thing was to get it out the door and get it in use and analyze and see how things are working. The first step of doing video would be in analyzing, just doing speech to text, analyzing the text in the article. We can do that in real time so that we can actually do overlays on the video showing the various metrics that we're analyzing. So that's something that's a progression, yes.
Okay,
and in the
thanks.
plan, yep.
I assume that this is some kind of natural language processing algorithm that you're using here to be able to determine what, are you like combing through each article to, pick certain words and determine whether or not could possibly be biased or?
Well, we're using natural language processing and various deep learning models to analyze the text for objectivity, sentiment. We do keyword analysis, named entity recognition. We also do a lot with propaganda analysis to look at words and phrases and how the phrases are being used to change the scope. An interesting add-on to that is, while we do this sentence by sentence, there's a very interesting view of how the progression of an article takes, where it may start off objective and positive, it may transition to a very subjective, negative, and back to positive. So that you not only see the individual score of the article, but also the progression of the article. And that also is a very interesting way of manipulating people.
How do you tell the difference between analysis and negativity or positivity, right? You could be an expert in your beat and you could be providing context based on what you know, and that might be negative for, I don't know, the company you're writing about, for example.
Sure.
That could show like you have a negativity bias when really you're kind of just making a logical, decision based on what you're seeing in the balance sheets, for example.
Right, understood, and that's a very valid point. I think, looking at these individual metrics is useful, but they need to be taken in as a whole. One can be very negative and objective at the same time, but if one is using highly charged emotional language, then the negativity or the reality of that negativity is colored by that emotional content. So there's a combination of sentiment as well as how objective or subjective the writing is. And we are working on, sorry.
No, go ahead.
We're working on additional models to look at emotionality, on hate speech and other things to be included in the analysis.
And then what's the success rate of your algorithm? Do you have, are you publicly sharing that?
Roughly in the 93-95% in our trials, or the internal AI test runs.
Okay, thank you.
So I was wondering, who would you consider your competitors to be, and what can you offer that they don't?
Most of what we see in our competitors are looking at trying to define whether an article is hard left, mid left, center, right, hard right. They try to look at it from a bias standpoint and where it sits within that bias spectrum. We're not doing that. We're looking at it purely from a linguistic standpoint. So like I indicated there, saying something is left or right is very subjective. What I consider left, what you consider right, is variable. And so we're taking that natural language approach to make it as objective as we can. We're doing our best to make sure that our training models that we use to train the deep learning is as objective as possible. I'm not aware of other entities doing pure linguistic. We've seen other companies that are doing left, right, center. A lot of it is based upon source content, but I haven't seen someone or another entity doing this kind of analysis.
Great. Can you talk a little bit more about your business model and how you plan on making money?
So multiple levels. One is currently with the ad-supported. We will be coming out with a user system as well as integration with social media. The thought is that some of the additional features may be monetizable, but the back end can be used for so many other uses. It can be used for research to look at published articles, not just news. It could be used to look at term papers and analyze both as an analysis tool for term papers, as an example, or as a writing tool, so that news organizations can actually pass their articles through the system to try to bring it into line, whether they want to make it objective, subjective, whatever techniques they want to put into the article. So there's an understanding from the author side as well as from the reader.
All righty, Amrita, thank you for your questions, and Gary as well. Really interesting project. So congratulations on everything you built so far, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right, folks, we'll move on to our next presenter. I'm going to go ahead and bring up Daniel from LulaCare. Daniel, give me 1 second and I'll pass you the presenter role. All righty, Daniel, you should be able to share your screen whenever you're ready.
Hello, everybody. Let me share screen. Can you see my screen?
Yep, see you and hear you loud and clear too. So whenever you're ready, Daniel, just go ahead and start and I'll start the timer.
Perfect. So I'm Daniel, founder of Lula Care, and this is what we do. As a recent father of my second daughter, I know that the most stressful moment for mothers is right after birth, not only because of postnatal depression, but also because 70% of them actually say they feel overwhelmed by the situation. And this is a moment when their babies need them the most. And the first 3 years of your life, of the baby's life, are some of the most important for the baby. So we offer a solution, which is a 360 maternity, in which we provide a maternity coach, curated content, and a team of experts to help mothers during this period. We also integrate augmented coaching, which allows us to bring the price of the service down to broader audiences. And we have two business models, which is our app, B2C subscriptions, and we have a B2B SaaS for others to incorporate and have a greater reach. I think the great thing about this is that we've been Apple. We've proven that mothers love the solution, so we want this solution to help more mothers who are in need. We have some amazing partners on our B2B program that are helping us help more mothers, and the main force behind this, let's say, it's to improve mothers' well-being worldwide. So that is our mission and our service. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, Daniel. Very honorable mission. And congratulations on everything you built so far. We'll go ahead and we'll open up for any questions or initial comments from the media panel. Alex, Todd, anybody want to start off?
I wanted to know a little bit more about the services, like in which way the apps helps new mothers, like with, helping recognize where like symptoms and what to do when the baby's ill, or how does it help new moms?
Yeah, so we have three parts to this. First of all, is creative content of all kinds, from pediatricians to gynecologists to midwives, and then we have a 24/7 chat. The idea is not that it is answered directly right on the spot, but you have an assigned expert that knows you, knows your situation, and it's this real midwife mostly behind that understands you, right? So for example, let's say you have a problem with baby sleep, and she knows that, in your house, maybe there are only 2 rooms and you have 2 children, and she tries to get you around that. And that is, I think, the most important thing about this is that it's this midwife that is assigned to you and knows you. And we've discovered that mothers actually prefer to have this person that is less available but knows your situation, rather than a 24/7 chat. And the other part is that through AI, we help answer some of the most common and simple questions and recommend content. So those 3 parts are how we're helping mothers.
Okay, thanks.
I have a question too.
Mhm.
First of all, this app is amazing. It sounds wonderful. So
Thank you.
I'm never gonna be a mom, but if I were, I would ask myself, like, okay, if I'm a new mom, until what point am I gonna need this app? Like, until what point is this app designed for moms to feel free to survive her motherhood without the app? Is it clear, my question?
So yeah, so we usually recommend from so we're starting in pregnancy now till the baby's around 3 years old, which is a bit universally, when you stop being a baby and more a child. but moms are free to be with us. So at the beginning, so let's say the expertise of the people that are with you change. So at the beginning, it's more a gynecologist. Then we have a midwife, and then we can get some pediatricians, for example. And the idea here is that till you feel comfortable. We have some moms that have been with us for around 2.5 years now. Until you feel comfortable. That's the idea. We're not. I think one of the reasons they trust us is that we're not very pushy. So we're there on the background to help you solve doubts, and it's a very cheap price per month. So I think that's why some moms really like staying with us.
And when it comes to the B2B part of your business, do their moms need to pay anything, or they don't? It's just like
So we have two models. One is for HR, in which mostly the company pays for it, and it's a great occasion for HR because basically there's this point where mother leaves on maternity leave, and the company says, "Hey, this is here for you." And the other model is we help companies create an app based on our. We're an awarded an app of the day app, and we have great service, and that is a way for us to help more mothers, because we know some companies don't want to give out other brands, so they just put their brand on top like a white label, and they get the service.
Oh, thank you so much, Daniel.
Well, thank you.
Can you talk a bit about the augmented coaching part? Is kind of the AI model, frequently asked questions, chat body, is what I'm assuming it is?
Yeah. So the idea here is that you have a midwife, an expert, which is usually with you, and there are some common questions that everybody asks, especially at the beginning. Okay, so that is when we have the AI kicks in, but they're always approved by someone. The answers are always approved, and that is an important part of our model. So in no moment the AI is being let loose, let's say, and it helps us reduce answer time and cost, basically. So it's for the most frequent questions, and there's always supervision. And we've been doing this since GPT-3, which is I think 3 years ago, and we've been training models since. So we're not, just to be clear, we're not on ChatGPT or all the new general AI models that have recently gone out. We're on the previous one, which we've discovered works a bit for our case.
Mm-hmm. Is there any forum or way to connect to other moms through the app?
No, not yet. It's a functionality that we've been thinking a lot about. There are some apps in that space, and we may do it in the future, but not yet.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Daniel. Well, congratulations on everything. Oh, I see. I'm not sure, Todd, if I saw your unmute as well. If you had a question. Sorry.
Just real quick, I was just curious to hear just a couple small details about the pricing model, and if there were mothers who wanted a more personalized sort of care, are those offered? Or
so the way we think about it is this is a help that you can have on the background. So it's basically around $20 a month. I say around because in different countries in the world it varies. And the idea here is that some mothers want actually to have one-on-one sessions with midwives. We did this at the beginning. They're very costly, and if they want to have that, they can hire someone which they usually trust. We're not in that mode yet. So this is basically, hey, you have someone here on the background that helps you a lot. If you need someone to go to your house, or if you need one-to-one sessions, 1 hour webinars, let's say, there are other solutions out there. We're more centered on a more relaxed kind of being on the background solving problems.
All righty. Well, Todd, thanks for your question, and Daniel, great presentation. Again, congratulations on what you guys are doing. Thank you so much for joining us too and staying up late too.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right, folks. Well, we're wrapping up with the last two presenters. I wanted to take really quick PSA announcement to the judges, if you could please remember to go in and fill in the scores in the judges scorecard as well, so we can announce the winners right at the end. Thank you in advance for that. Next up, we'll bring on Jim Behrens, who's the COO of Opsis Health. Jim, give me 1 second, sir, and I'll pass you the presenter role.
Got it. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, so Opsis Health, we have an application that is in the App Store approved. We haven't turned it on. It'll be within days. You scan that QR code, you can get it yourself. The application is called Plateful, and it's a completely new tool and metric for optimizing your health. So let me tell you, explain the problem to you. If you look at this graph, this is the rise of obesity in the United States over the last 40 years. It's completely unabated, and it's projected that by 2030, 50% of the United States will have a BMI over 30. BMI over 30 would be equivalent to a 5'4" female that's 30 pounds overweight. Doesn't matter how many thousands of diets, thousands of exercise devices, Olestra, Fen-Phen, now Ozempic, and the semaglutides, and tens of millions of gym memberships. This problem is completely unabated, and this is happening across the entire developed world. Why is that important? Obesity is just a symptom of metabolic syndrome. All of these conditions, hypertension, coronary artery disease, diabetes type 2, these kinds of cancers are substantially, if not primarily, caused by poor diet quality. They can be prevented, stopped, and reversed with the appropriate kind of diet quality. So what we've been doing for 4 years is combining the imaging, IMUs, and other capabilities in current smartphones with AI, machine learning, data science. We've built lots of these devices that are over on this side, if I can point to it, 500 machines that have been training on food, and we employed advanced behavioral science, and we've created 5 significant breakthroughs that you'll be able to use with your smartphone. The first one is a scanning tool so that you can buy healthy food. You can go in the grocery store with this, and in just 1/10 of a second, every food item that you scan will give you the nutrition value of that food and the sustainability of that food. And this is an important criteria because this is on a scale of 0 to 100. We look at 54 different parameters, and these are correlated and scientifically peer-reviewed and published in Nature magazine or Nature journal, that this correlates with a whole lot of biomarkers, cancers, longevity, lifespan, et cetera. The higher you go by 10, your chances of all-cause mortality goes down 7% per year. And so you can go in there and scan and buy fresh food or the right kind of food with the right nutrition, and or if you care about sustainability. And then the second part of the application is you have your food in front of you and you take your phone and you do a 4-second rainbow scan, we call it a breeze, over your food. And we will completely take it from building a 3-dimensional model of the food, estimating portion, connecting it with canonical recipes, deconstructing that to 220 plus nutrient markers, adding them all up, and then giving you a single score that we call your diet quality value that will become the most important number in your future. This is more important than your FICO score, your SAT scores, your savings account balance. This number is scientifically been shown, and I'll show you where to go look at the science for it. That if you keep this above 80, you will be very unlikely to develop any of those chronic conditions I saw. And if you go above 90, you can reverse many of them by Dean Ornish, Michael Greger, and people. So we not only tell you what your score is on an ongoing basis during the day with every meal you scan, but we actually give you turn-by-turn directions on how to get that score up. So in this case, if I selected the vegetables, we're going to tell you not in nutrients that are micro and macronutrients that you can't really understand. We're going to tell you need to put in 1/2 cup of greens and beans, 2 1/4 cup of vegetables. Where am I today? I need 1 more 1/4 cup of these. And by the way, here's the list of things that will satisfy any of that criteria, and here's the nutrition value of them. So we give you turn-by-turn directions. And then we give you your trends over time, because one meal, one weekend vacation doesn't make a good or bad diet. It's only what happens over time. And we allow you to track your diet quality continuously in any one of 220 nutrients, and we'll give you the sustainability of that. So I'll stop there and let you ask questions. technology.
And time. Jim, I know it's a lot of information to pack into 2 minutes. So I'm sure there's going to be a ton of follow-up questions from the reporters. We'll go ahead and open up a great presentation, Jim. Anybody want to start off?
Yeah, and see the science, by the way.
Awesome. Anybody want to start off with the question? Amrita, Karen, please feel free. Amrita, I'm not sure if you're trying to talk,
Sorry.
if you're on, no worries.
Yeah. So how do you incorporate a user's personal health data, such as weight and other personal information into this app? And I was also wondering, like, as far as like the business model, is this going to be a paid service, et cetera? And so I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Okay, so I'll answer the second one first. It's completely free, absolutely free worldwide. It's not freemium. There's no, we don't sell your data. We don't spam you with ads. It's private in your data. And at any moment, you can, inside the app, delete all of your data and all of your history. And the only thing we use, anything you've ever done for, is to improve the technology, the application in a de-identified way. So it is free. So the business model question is, there are lots of people in your life, whether it be your providers for your healthcare, whether it be your corporate wellness coaches, whether it be your fitness coaches or weight management coaches. If they want to see your nutrition and see how it's going and want to give you advice, they're the ones that are going to pay us. So if I flip this on here, you can send them a snapshot of your nutrition, which will summarize your DQV for 3 months, exactly what foods you completed in your rings and didn't complete, and any kind of micronutrients by spark lines that they want to, including these and notes they can give you. So if anybody, fitness coach, your physicians, or your wellness coach from your company, they can get this snapshot. They will pay us $10 per snapshot for it. So the only people that pay us are the people that will be charging you in other ways for what you see.
All right.
I wanted to know, yes, Simi. I wanted to know a bit like about if you can also put, for example, information about diseases. For example, diabetes is an important, like how you eat, because like you cannot eat certain fruits because they may be too sweet. So is there like this kind of information can be added to your profile in this app?
Yeah, so for the next 6 months, you won't see that information in there. But yes, you will. And I'll give you an example that relates to what Daniel was talking about with Lulu Care. We are working with the largest maternity supplement provider in the world. And when you send as a either preconception all the way through the first 1,000 days of all the way through breastfeeding for the 1,000 days, if you send them this snapshot, it will actually summarize for them the International Federation of OB and GYN recommendations at each phase from conception, all 3 trimesters, and breastfeeding. There are different different vitamin and nutrient requirements or recommendations and foods to avoid and to use. So we will give you that information. We give it to the provider, your OB/GYN, when you send the snapshot, and it gets listed here for them and says, your folate is too high. You need to supplement with more potassium. We recommend these foods will work for that purpose. These foods that you've been eating, like raw seafood, et cetera, are not recommended. And all those guidelines across all medical specialties will be provided to the provider when you send a snapshot, and then they can give you notes themselves about what they would like you to do. So the tentacles of what we're doing are, because this is the first time ever we actually know what you're eating, and we know the detailed nutrient content of that, and we do it in 4 seconds and provide you that information on a continual basis.
That's awesome. Thanks.
Maybe Alex and then Rebecca.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jim. Well, when you're mentioning that the people who are going to pay for this service, for example, like for sending this snapshot, are the people who are in care of your health. I think that this application really needs like to make it work and to have better results. It needs like a long time relationship with the medicine, with the doctors and with the patient. So do you have any fidelization plan? Like will guarantee like a long-term relationship with your application, because so many people start doing something and then so many people start doing diet and then they quit of that, you know, like what's your plan to make this fidelization with the clients and make your business profitable?
Yeah, so I heard two questions there. So first of all, we already are engaged with hospital systems. So one of them that we can talk about and is public is ProMedica. ProMedica is a 17 hospital, 2 million patient system based in Toledo, Ohio. And we are a partner with theirs doing a lot of research with our application across diabetic type 2s, hypertensive cardiovascular disease, high BMI employees, reimbursement, et cetera. And so we are using it and validating it in the medical system. And so it will be as important as any vital sign they collect, right? Your blood pressure, your pulse, your weight, when you go into your physician, are all things that they collect and get reimbursed for. But those are, in fact, only predictive of a problem once your body can't compensate for it. This particular DQV will become a vital sign that is predictive of your future. And a DQV that is high, even after you're 50 years old, no matter what you've done, statistically can lead to 14 years of life, 30 more years of health. And like I said, the prevention, stoppage, or reversal of many of those chronic diseases. Good research, and that QR code you scan will show you the science and the references and that to all of that have been peer reviewed. That answer both? Not.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was mute. Thank you so much.
Rebecca, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm interested that the customer here is actually not the person who would be filling in the app. Like, it feels like the person who is there scanning their food and checking in how much what they're eating and everything is someone who wants to take control over their health and nutrition versus and would pay for that. So I guess, so then when you have, you know, hospitals and things and doctors paying for the information, it kind of seems like this is part of your overall treatment plan. If you have diabetes or, you know, hypertension, or I don't know, any cardiovascular disease, et cetera, how do you gamify it? Like, how do you get people to actually tediously fill in, like write down, because, you know, I've tried writing down what I eat and I never do it. So
no, I must not have explained it, because you do this for 4 seconds over your food. We do everything else for you, right? We identify the food.
How does that tech work? Like, if I make a curry, it's who knows what's in that, right? It's just big, massive.
So that's why we have 9 PhDs in data science and machine learning that are running our staff team. So there's a whole bunch of tricks that go into this, a longer discussion. But first of all, individuals have only between 30 and 70 foods in their diet. So in the first 30 days that you use this, we learn you, right? And so the first time you scan, let's say, a piece of lasagna, we are, our data science team has pulled down thousands of recipes for lasagna, and we've picked the most common ones and combined the ingredients into what we call a canonical recipe for lasagna. So when you scan that lasagna, we're going to assume it's the recipe that's the most common across the internet. And then we'll show you what that is. And I don't have time to show you here. We'll show you what the recipe is. And you can say, oh, no, I use low-fat ricotta cheese, not whole milk ricotta cheese, et cetera. So you can do some editing. In the first 30 days, you will do a couple minutes worth of editing every day. But that's the only thing you need to edit if you want to get really precise with your nutrition. So we identify the foods. We have trained with those machines I showed you behind me on the 80% of foods that people eat in the United States. And so we identify the food, we calculate the portion, and I can show you how we do that, you know, with point clouds and that. Then we estimate the portion, we multiply it times the density of that food, and we deconstruct it. So you don't have to enter it. That's, you know, MyFitnessPal doesn't, 93% of the people stop within 3 days because it's tedious, and the only thing it tracks is calories, and it doesn't sum them over time, and calories aren't a measure of health at all. So we're trying to go to the details of the food, and you need to know nothing about micro and macronutrients, because we show you in real food what you need to eat to optimize your health. That's related to the studies that have been done for 40 years by NHANES in the United States and EPIC in Europe.
Okay, thank
So
you.
4 seconds is all you need with 30 days worth of a little bit of training. And every once in a while, something new, outlier at a restaurant or a friend's house that you haven't scanned before, then you're going to have to say, oh, you just touch it on the screen and say, oh, this is whatever, bouillabaisse or whatever. And then we'll show you the recipe. And if it's not the exact recipe, edit that. And next time you scan bouillabaisse, it'll be your recipe that the nutrients get deconstructed from.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you for all the questions from the media panel. Jim, really interesting work that you guys are doing. I actually just looked up your LinkedIn. I see you're from Colorado, so I'm also not surprised a nutritional app like this is coming out of Colorado either. So congratulations on all that you guys have built so far. All right, we'll go ahead and go with our last presenter, last but not least. We'll bring up Jin Lee from Zedge Zuri. Jin, give me a second. I'll pass you the presenter role, sir. And then also just a quick reminder for all the judges, after Jin is done, if we can finalize the scorecards so we can announce a winner as well. So Jin, it's not easy to go last. But I know you got it in you, sir. So we'll go ahead and bring you on screen if you'd like to share your screen.
Okay. All right. Take over right now. Okay. Let's share the screen. Let's go to, okay.
And Jin, do you want to maybe just say a few things before you
Everyone-
start? Because I'm not sure if it's on my side or if it's your side that yeah, I'm not sure. Salome, can you hear it okay? Can you hear Jin okay? Or is that on my
okay?
side?
So
sorry, Jin. Jin, you with us? All right, we might have lost Jin. We'll take just 2 minutes here. Hey, Jin, you there? All right, guys. Well, we'll take just a couple of seconds here to let Jin reconnect. I think we might have dropped him. Salome, if you want to maybe ping him on outside on email as well.
Can anyone see my screen? Are we good?
Hey, Jin. Jin, can you hear me? Hello. All right, I think he's going to sign back out and sign back in, guys. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. But this is a good time, judges, if you wanted to just kind of take a look, finalize the scores, if you wanted to make any changes after hearing other presentations. So a real good time to do that now. And then we'll go ahead and we'll bring Jin back on, hopefully here pretty soon. All righty, and I know Rebecca has a hard stop at the 30s. Rebecca, I wanted to mention if you do have to hop off at any time, of course, please.
I'm back.
Hey, Jin, can you hear us okay?
Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me? Yes, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I can hear you okay. Yeah.
All right, do you have another connection by chance, Jin? You're coming in a little choppy.
Choppy. Hold on, let me.
Sorry about that. And is that it's not on my side only, right, guys? I just want to be sure. Okay. Sorry, Jin, we just want to make sure you have the best opportunity to present.
Let's put a hotspot then. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
That old Los Angeles internet. All right, I can see you better now, Jin. You might be on mute though.
No.
Okay, now I can hear
We're
you.
good? Yeah, all right. Yeah,
Okay,
the wind is crazy here, so it may affect the internet.
okay, no, for sure. Let me go ahead and I'll pass you the presenter role.
Okay,
All right. Looks like we're back on track now, Jin. So let me know if you want to
Okay.
present your screen.
are we good? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, and we can see it loud or see it clear as well. So whenever you're
Okay.
ready, sir.
Okay, let's start, man. Yeah, hi, I'm Jin, founder for the judge jury. It's pronounced like judge and jury, as in our legal system. Okay, we just spin on it on the Z. All right, so all of us have seen Uber, right, where we put taxis and personal taxis and people together. Airbnb, where you put free rooms and people together. So welcome to Judge Jury. We are the Uber for judges and jury, whereby we put people to judges and juries, which are basically other people that can help you make decisions and so on and so forth, right? So, okay, so every day we have dilemmas, we need to make decisions, we do not want to take responsibility, and we do not have expert opinion. So we came up with the real-time conflict resolution platform, whereby the judges or jury, which is people like you and me, help to vote in the community. And we can also do live hearing, and as well as have earn ranks and rewards to be appreciated by the community. All right, so the market is pretty big, 5 billion people on the internet, a lot of people on Facebook and all that. And we also have a lot of conflicts here and there every day, family issues or small claims and all that. All right, so Facebook has about 3 billion, TikTok 1 billion. And if we can even capture 10% of whatever market size they have, we are looking at 250 million people here. And if the US wiped out TikTok, we have a lot of overflow, all right? So, and then the product is basically the users ask questions, the users select a judge or jury, and then there's a verdict. And so you're helping other people in the community as a judge or jury. At the same time, you can ask other questions. So you play two roles, and everyone help everyone in the area of specialty. So if we can just make $8 from 50% of the market share, we're looking at 1 billion, right? In probably about 4 years. Okay, so the adoption strategy is we can place judgery in almost anywhere. When people need to shop, need to date, even in like Connect earlier, if you need to check whether this person is good or not, just ask the jury in there. All right, and then we have celebrities and influencers that can come in. We can connect with TikTok people, and they can promote products as well. All right, so originality and media appeal is we are the first to market right now. And then the judges that give opinions will get rewards. They can change them for Web3 coin, or they can change for US dollars. All right, and there's social recognition. Imagine one day you're called a supreme judge on your jury. So everybody asks, why do I need your opinion? Because I'm the supreme judge. I have earned my rank. So there are 8 ranks. You start with a jury, and then all the way to being a supreme judge. So the more questions you answer, the more ratings you get. We give you feedback from the other users, and you earn your rank. And with your rank, you are able to get more people asking you questions, right? And you can be a celebrity as well. All right, so ease of use, and we have to design a brand. And basically, this is 3 of us, the founding team. That's me, and we have our tech lead and John, which is over in New York. All right, so basically, that's Judge Jury. Any questions?
All righty, Jin. Thank you very much for the presentation. I'm sure there will be questions. We'll go ahead and open up for any of the media panel. Todd, Amrita, I see maybe you're unmuted if you wanted to go first.
Sure. So I was wondering, so what type of incentive would a judge have to participate in this platform, and how do you plan on recruiting for these different, like how do you plan on getting a ton of people who could serve as judges or juries on the platform?
Okay, so Amira, you are already a judge there. So everyone who joins here is a user as a judge as well. So you have 2 roles, and then you choose your area of specialty. Like there's so many areas. If you like dating, if you like pets, if you like cars, you just choose the category that you would like to help people in. All right, so anytime you answer a question, you'll be given a rating. You're not a specialist, you're like a friend or a social person in a community. So if your feedback is not good, you're going to get a bad rating. And as we go along, your rating will drop. right? So, but if you give good rating, default is usually 4 to 5 stars out of 5, right? So consistently, more and more people will see you, and you will get promoted based on the number of questions you answer and the quality of the responses you give over time. So everyone starts off as being a user as well as being a judge or a jury. Actually, you start off as a jury actually, and then after you can be a judge after a certain amount of time. Yeah, jury is like training ground. You know, it's not all of us are juries in America if you're an American citizen, right? And we don't know anything about the crime or anything, and we go there and we just vote. Okay, you know, guilty or not, based on the reasoning. But here we are giving, like, say, do I wear the red dress or the blue dress to this party? Is that kind of questions, not like criminal questions like, okay, blue dress, it looks better. Why? Oh, good response as a jury. Okay, I give you 5 stars. You know, the next time could be, should I go to Paris or Hawaii for my holiday? Ask the jury, and then the jury gives a response in that kind of a social entertainment manner. Yeah.
Gotcha, Jin. Maybe we'll go for Rebecca and then Karen with questions.
Thanks. So the examples you just gave of dress and vacation don't really fit what I was imagining for this, but those are also good. So I was imagining, like, you know, if you have like a social quandaries or something, there's I follow the subreddit Am I the Asshole? And that's, you know, got a really great system for this kind of thing. Like, here's my problem. Am I making the right decision? You know, there's rating, it's all involved. So, you know, these things do exist, maybe not in like a specific app for it, but they're, you know, Reddit is a great place for this kind of thing. There are Quora, online forums. How do you get people? It's not that I'm saying there's not a market for it, but people are already entrenched in the markets they're already in. How do you incentivize them to move to a new platform, download yet another app, and then also pay for it?
Okay, so right now we're targeting influencers, and then we're getting the influencers on board. So once the influencers come in, they bring their followers. So that's how we get the users to come on board. And the influencers have the area of specialties, like some are in the makeup area, some are in the dating area, some in the shopping, some in the product. So when they come over, they can promote like A and B or C, which product, all right? Or the followers can engage them in a live hearing. We also have a live hearing like in a courthouse kind of situation, but you know, where the users ask their influencers, their favorite influencer, like, hey, should I put this makeup on or not? We have an influencer trying that right now. It's like, you know, the users say, hey, should I do this makeup or that makeup on live streaming, and A or B, like half the face or something. And then the influencer was like, I think you should do A. And, you know, the influencer is charging like $10 per 5 minutes. And then the fan, diehard fan, is happily paying it. You know, and they want to extend it, and then, you know, they keep doing that. So it depends on the category. We have so many categories of areas of where people can engage. So we have cars, we have pets, we have fashion, design, travel, food. I can see the huge potential, because as long as we get the influencers and the users to hop on, and that's where they can engage and make money and monetize their time engaging their followers.
Maybe Karen, you want to go next?
Yeah, so yeah, just like Rebecca, I thought like this kind of like is similar to Reddit or Quora. And I wanted to know, like, what is the main difference like with those, and also how does the rank and reward system works? Is it like a next to earned model?
Okay, the rank and rewards is, we can see in blog, the judgery.com over there in the web link. So basically everyone has a rank, all right, a social rank. And the rank goes up when you answer enough questions and you have good quality rating. And at the same time, you get a lot of gifts like TikTok, all right? Everyone gets gifts, the roses and the bears and all that. And that you can exchange for either US dollar currency or a coin. We also have a coin on the Web3, all right? And then it's called the Judgery coin. So that's the rewards coming out from social recognition in ranks. You can exchange your gifts and whatever received as tokens for US dollars or coin or a Visa card. All right, so that's the users pay to interact with the jury or the judge, and the judge or the jury, after accumulating a certain number of questions, they get enough rewards and ranks to feel appreciated. Yeah.
Thanks.
All righty, Jin, I got to ask, where did the idea come from to replace the J's with the Z's?
We need the trademarks. It's an
Was
easy-
there was already a judge jury out there?
Yeah, in UK. So, but right now we have trademarks in everywhere. A lot of places we just basically, apply to China, Korea, Australia, UK. We already got it. Canada, United States, we already got it. Let's see where Mexico, Singapore, and Thailand, and a lot of places. So imagine is when we go to multilingual and community societies. In Japan, they will go for this big time because in the Japanese community, it is collective decision making. In America, it's more individual, but this is a decision support the tool, right? And then the next few phases we have is really go to metaverse, join inside. They have a virtual courthouse in metaverse and multilingual. Yeah. So right now we are in the growth phase, acquiring users from the United States and Europe right now.
So, all right, well, very interesting. Congratulations, Jin, on what you guys have built so far, and thanks for joining us today. Not easy to go last, so thank you again, Jin.
No problem. Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys. Well, we're rounding out the end of the day. While we tally the scores, maybe if journalists, if you want to take just 30 seconds to finalize or make any last minute changes, please go ahead and do so. And then we'll announce the winners. And maybe while we'll do that, if it'd be all right to open up a quick Q&A. For journalists, if any of the founders have any specific questions for them, I think now is a really good time to do so. And maybe I'll start with something that I was thinking about today, just that a couple of the presenters today were very early stage, maybe have a beta or maybe just launched. What is a good time to reach out to the media for to announce the launch of your startup or to at least start engaging and showing a reporter that you guys do exist? If anybody has any thoughts on that. Not everybody at once, please. I don't know, Rebecca, Amrita, I'm sure you guys get a ton of pitches. No, but no worries.
I wouldn't reach out to journalists before you have something to say, other than I have a company and here is what we're solving and here is what we purport to do. I would reach out, I guess, around the time that you've raised some funding, you have users, and you have like an actual story to tell, people that you've reached, customers that you've reached, and you kind of have set the wheels in motion. Before that, though, what I would do is I would establish some sort of social media presence and get some buzz going, because the first thing that we do when we get a press release is that we search for you on Google. We look to see what people are saying about you online. And so to try and do that, even if it's like a way just to like engage with potential users, it would be just a great way to kind of like get some buzz going. So I would recommend doing that.
Awesome. No, that sounds really good. I'm wondering for Rebecca and TechCrunch, is that different? How often do you guys cover early stage versus are you kind of waiting for somebody to get a funding round?
Yeah, I mean, often a funding round's kind of a hook, like a news hook, just so it's timely. But I would agree with the last few statements. You don't just want an idea. I mean, you wouldn't really, I mean, maybe you would go to investors with just an idea, but ideally you want to be able to have like proof of concept. You want to have customers, you want to show like maybe you've had a soft launch, and then you can kind of show how much you've grown and what customers are saying, and if you've pivoted at all in the time that you are testing out like a beta version of your app. And now the news is we're hard launching, or we've raised this much money and we're going to scale with it. Or I don't mind covering early stage startups, but you have to, like, the problem and impact has to be pretty strong for me to want to be interested in it. Like I have to see like, oh, this could actually, you've already proven that it can work and that you can monetize it a bit. You've got revenue coming in. That's cool too. You don't always have to have revenue coming in, but definitely, there's got to be a real need, I think, for it, real product market fit.
Gotcha. Any other questions? Again, I'd love to have a founder. If you have any specific questions, feel free to reach out and ask. Daniel, thanks for
Hey,
volunteering.
very quickly. So we're talking about product market fit. What do you consider is the strongest signal of a product market fit from a journalist perspective?
Are you asking me?
Well, yeah,
Anyone?
in the panel, yeah.
Anyone
Yeah,
else
you
can
would be
answer that.
perfect.
I mean, I the strongest. I mean, you could have, I'm not sure exactly how to answer that, but you could have. Often, I like to see kind of data about the market, right? And
Mhm.
if there's, you know, a need that's maybe not being covered or not being covered well, right? It's like you have to have it has to be like, I must have this, not it'd be nice to have that. That's kind of how I think product market fit. Like this will change the game versus like, yeah, this would be nice, but I actually don't really need it.
Okay, thank you.
And that's something that could be shared within like your first communications as well with a reporter to really outline, maybe they're not aware of that problem, or maybe they've covered that problem kind of in a tertiary way. But if you can include data or anything to show kind of the gravity of a problem that you're trying to solve, that might help as well. Any other questions before we announce the winners? All right, I know it's pretty late in the day for everybody too, so and maybe some people haven't had lunch yet. So all right, well, we'll go ahead and we'll announce the winners. I wanted to mention too, we're kind of low budget, proudly, and would be really welcoming if you guys want to unmute your microphones, and you know, we'd love to clap for the third, second, and first place winners as we announce them as well. So first off, I just want to say a big thanks to everybody that pitched today, because it's not easy to do. So congratulations to all you guys. In third place, and please feel free, once I announce your name, if you want to come up and say something really quickly, we'd love that as well. So in third place, we have Sierra with Connect. Sierra, congratulations.
Thank you. It's so funny, everyone's clapping. I can't hear the actual clap, but I see the motion.
The sentiment is there. The sentiment is there.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody.
How you talk.
No,
Appreciate
nice.
the time. This was really fun.
Awesome. No, it was great to have you with us, and I'm really excited to see how how you guys will grow, and congratulations on everything so far.
Thank you very much.
All right, and in second place, I thought was a fantastic presentation, really blew me away. We have Jim from Opsis Health. Jim, congratulations.
Thank you.
Nicely done. When I'm strolling the supermarkets in Colorado, I'll be checking your app out.
Very good.
All righty. All right, and last but not least, he had a great presentation and a very honorable mission that he's trying to solve. We have Daniel from LulaCare. Daniel, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and yeah, really, really great presentation that you put together. So thank you so much for joining us and staying up late, Daniel.
Thank you very much.
All right, folks. Well, if anybody wants to connect after this as well, I'm really happy to put anybody in touch. That's kind of the idea behind these events, is to learn and get to know each other. So thank you so much to all of our media judges today. We have Rebecca, Todd, Amrita, Alex, Karen. Taking your time out of the day has been super appreciated. So thank you very much. Hope to have you for the next round of Connect. And also to all the startup founders who took a risk and pitched today, congratulations. And last but not least, Salome, my colleague here at Publicize, thank you so much for all the help on the back end organizing this. and hope to see everybody at the next Connect event. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for organizing. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.